Hi, and welcome to day 6 of the Posture Challenge. So today we're going to be doing some glute strengthening, some core strengthening, stretching out our hamstrings and our hip flexors. So let's just get straight to it, I think. So we're going to start off with some hamstring stretches. I've got a chair here. So I'm just going to bring up one leg, both hips pointing forwards. It's a bit high actually. And then just leaning forward, as nice straight back as you can. Try and lean your chest forward. So your knee just slightly off locked. And then just reaching forward to your toes. Make sure you're not rounding your back. Try and bring your chest towards that leg. And we're just going to hold it. So our hamstrings get super tight when we're sat down, because our leg is in a flexed position. Did you know your hamstrings is one of the few muscles that crosses two joints? So it crosses your knee joint and it crosses your hip. So there you go, you learned something today. Good. So I hope everyone's okay at home and plodding along, some happy distraction. Okay, and the other side, swap legs. As one of my patients said today, they're just focusing on staying safe and staying fit, which I thought was quite a good motto for right now. Stay safe, stay fit. That's it, so my knee's just slightly off locked. And then I've got a nice straight back, bringing my chest forward, stretching out those hamstrings. Okay, swap sides. Good. And just leaning forward with the chest. So you tend to get a very arched lower back. And a lot of back pain when you have tight hamstrings and tight hip flexors. So we're going to be stretching out both of those today for our posture. So yesterday we focused a lot on the upper body, and today it's going to be all lower body. And the other side. Just leaning forward from the chest, knee just slightly off straight. Toes are up. One more round there. Leaning forward, straighten that knee out as much as possible. So it is incredible how when you start really focusing on little things, everything kind of snowballs. So 6th day of doing green smoothies, so feeling really good for that. Been drinking 2 litres of water a day, and I've got so much more energy. So I hope everyone else has been joining in and feels the same. And then I think just because I've been feeling much better, I went for a little run this morning. I just had the energy to go for a run before work. And usually I'm just trying to organise myself and organise my family, but managed to have the energy to have an early morning run on the other side. So you do just snowball once you're getting into good habits. It's just starting, isn't it? It's just that initial starting. Good. All right, so we're going to stretch out our hip flexors. So we're going to do a deep lunge. So you can either do a deep lunge like this, or if you're a bit more flexible, you can do pigeon. So you just bring your shin, you want to be your shin kind of horizontal, and then your leg behind, and then just sort of coming up a little bit. So you get a good hip flex. So hip flexor stretch through here, glute stretch on the other side. And you can sort of prop yourself up a little bit. And don't do this one if you've got back pain right now. You're better off doing the deep lunge. If you're really strong, you can bend your back knee, I shuffle forward. Oh, if you're really flexible, sorry, you can bend your back knee and hold it with your, so this is my left leg and my right arm. And that way you get a bit of a quad stretch and a stronger hip flexor stretch as well. Okay, and the other side. So I'm just bringing my knee by my left hand. I'm trying to draw a line with my shin, and I'm bringing my right leg behind me, and then just propping myself up with my fingertips. So a little bit of pigeon. And if you want to make it a bit stronger, I've got my left hand holding onto my right foot. So for me, it's a bit easier on this side. Okay, good. Right, now just grab our foam roller. I think it's good to do a little bit of this every day, to be honest. So I'm just going to do the one where you bring it horizontally underneath the top of the spine, the sort of upper thoracic, so it's T2, and we're just going to bring our head and hips down. And then coming up a little bit further down, head and hips down. It's about an inch. Just working through that thoracic spine, getting a little bit more mobility. I just think everyone should do this. A little bit of this every day, especially if you work at a desk or you're leaning over people like me. I'm back. Good. All right. Next, let's do some bridges. So we're going to come up into a glute bridge. So we're going to bring our feet hip width apart, heels towards our buttocks, and then we're going to come up into a bridge. So it's really good doing this in front of your phone or in front of a because I know last time I watched this back and I realised that my hips were so low, and you really want your knees aligned with your hips and your shoulders. You've got a nice straight line here. So it just goes to show, if you've got a mirror, do try and do it in front of your mirror. Because sometimes you think you're doing it right until you actually see it. Okay, and back down, and again. And back down, and one more. Very good. Now we're gonna, I'm just gonna shimmy up the bench so you can see what I'm doing. But I'm gonna bring my hips up, and then I'm just gonna bring out one leg, and the thighs are gonna be in line. Like this, the thighs are in line, and I'm not letting one hip drop, and my foot's like this, and my just like that. Okay. So we're just going to bring up the hips, bring up one leg, like that. I'm going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then the other side. So keep these hips nice and level. Imagine there's a spirit level across your hips here, and you want it to stay nice and level. Good. And the right side again. That's it. Keep the hips up, don't let those hips drop. That's the difficult bit with this one. And back down. And the other leg, so you can see I'm just coming up. I'm bringing up one leg at a time. Good. Keep those hips up. Good. I'm coming back down. Next, get our foam roller. We're going to pop it underneath our heels, and then we're going to come up into a bridge. I'm sort of running out of bench a bit a little bit actually. That's it. Don't know if you can see me. turning a little bit. So carry on, try and get your foam roller underneath your heels. And then into a bridge. Hold it about 20 seconds. That's it. So I'm going to pretend mine are on the foam roller, but you can't actually see me when my feet are on the foam roller. That's it. And coming back down. Now bring your heels onto the foam roller, coming up, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and bring up one leg, but whilst one foot is on the foam roller. And then swap sides. And bring the other leg up. Good. And back. And same again. And back. And same again. Keep those thighs in line, keep those hips up. And back down. Excellent. Right. Next we're going to do some side bridges. So if you bring your elbow underneath your shoulder and you're going to push into the ground. So you can either bend both your knees and do it from your knees and coming up into a straight line like this, or you can bring your ankles together and coming up from your ankles like that. So when you do it, make sure that your shoulder at the top isn't rolling forward and that your shoulder is back. Okay. And that's it. So coming up. So I'm going to do it from my knees because my bench isn't long enough. But if you can do it from your ankles, do it from your ankles. So make sure you're pushing into your elbow. Don't let your shoulder shrug. Push into the elbow. That's it. And you should feel it here. So this is your quadratus lumborum. One of your spinal stabilizers. So like big struts either side of your spine. If you imagine your spine is like the mast of a ship. Good. And back down. And again, coming back up. And back down. And back up. And back down. Right, swap sides. Elbow into the ground, elbow just underneath your shoulder. You can either do it from bent knees or from your ankles. And then I tend to hold on to this shoulder and then pushing into that left elbow and bring the hips up. So you're in a nice straight line. You're not bringing the shoulder forward. The shoulder is back. Good. And just hold it there. So you should feel it through here. So a lot of people work on their abdominals, they work on their glutes, and they completely forget about these ones, but these are so important for your core. And back down. And again. Really, really good. You've got one more of these, and then we're done for today. And back up. So I've decided I always cut it too close time-wise. Yesterday was on 15 minutes exactly. So I'm going to be less of a risk taker today. And back down. Excellent. So there you have it. We've done some hamstring stretches, some hip flexor stretches, and we've done some glute strengthening, some quadratus lumborum strengthening. So yeah, so well done us. I hope everyone's keeping with it, and I hope everyone's feeling really good for it too. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.